or yak or crabs, ants, they would be found to be living in their respective habitats, namely deserts, mountains, sea, or various places for ants. So the region or place where an organism lives is termed as their habitat. It provides them with food, shelter, proper weather conditions like rainfall, heat, etc., in which they can breed and they can flourish, in which they can mate with other organisms of same species, right? So that their numbers keeps on multiplying, reproduction takes place, and they flourishes. So for example, we have example of a camel. Camel would be found to be living in a desert. Desert is the habitat of camel. So how are they adapted to be to survive in a desert? So what are the things which we observe in the body of a camel that enables them to survive in a desert? So you'd be learning about this. Okay. So first of all, before we learn about this, it is important that we learn that what is a desert. Okay, no? So let's just start from here. We'll be getting back to that in a minute. Okay. First of all, talking about this aquatic habitat. Let's cover this topic first, as it's a small topic. Aquatic habitat. So let us understand how the fishes in an aquatic habitat would be adapted to survive. As we know that as the fishes would be moving in the water now, so their body will experience some friction, right? Their body will experience some friction now, friction from the water, right? Like as we swim in the water, so we experience some friction now. You know what is friction now? It's the opposing force that stops something from moving, right? Like when you are riding on the road, so there's a friction between the tires of the bicycle and the road, tires of the bicycle and the road. Getting it now? So thereby
Yes, sir.
friction is there that opposes the movement of the bicycle. In the similar manner, we see that as these fishes would be moving in the water body, so they will also experience some opposing force that will restrict their movement. But you know, they have their bodies are especially designed. They have a special shape like this. They have a special shape like this. So this shape is called as streamline shape. Streamline shape. So the front portion of the body is very thin and pointy. The surface area of the front portion is very less. That's why as it moves into water, they are easily able to move through the water because friction is minimized. Now imagine that if the fishes were to be like this. For example, if the fishes were to be like this, their front portion of the body were to be like this, it will be very difficult for them to move in the water now. If the front portion of their body were to be like this, getting it? So thereby fishes have got a streamlined shaped body that enables them to move easily in the water. That is the adaptation they have. Furthermore, they have lots of scales on their body. If I were to zoom it out, maybe you will be able to observe, like look at this particular shape. There are lots of slippery scales on their body.
Yes.
Right now. So
Sir,
that
like,
also,
for example, if we go for fishing, like when we touch the fishes, they have a smooth surface, like slippery scales.
yes, their skin is slippery because of presence of these scales. So that also minimizes the friction. Okay. Now fishes, do they have lungs or gills?
Sir, they have gills.
Gills. Okay. Also, we know that oxygen is dissolved in water. Oxygen is dissolved in water now. So they can
Yes, sir.
they can absorb the dissolved oxygen from water. That's how they get oxygen.
That's how they breathe.
That's how they would be breathing right now. So say for example, this is a fish, and over here they would have observed there would be gills present in their neck. Right now, these are the
Yes.
gills.
The red thing.
Yeah, the red thing that you see, the red muscular tissue that you see. Okay. So what happens that as the water would be passing via this now, as water passes via this, and as it comes out from the other side now, as it comes out from the other side, here
Yes.
water in, here water out.
Out.
So as we know that oxygen is dissolved in water now,
Yes,
oxygen
sir.
is dissolved in
Dissolved
water.
in water.
So as the water will be moving in into their gills, so that dissolved oxygen will be taken up by these fishes. That's how they take oxygen, right? Also, their body will also be producing waste. Their body will produce the gaseous waste, like just like our body produces carbon dioxide gas. So the body of fishes also produce carbon dioxide gas. So they don't have
Yes, sir.
nose now. Like we can
Yes.
exhale the carbon dioxide gas via our nose, but they don't have any nose. So how do they get rid of carbon dioxide? Why the same gills? Why this
By the
gills?
gills.
Hmm. So as the water would be moving out, so that moving out water will carry out the carbon dioxide from
Carbon
their body.
dioxide.
Hope that is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Furthermore, the flat fins and their tails helps them in changing direction in the water. Like these flat fins that you see, by the help of these fins, they can change the direction. In the water bodies, they are able to change their direction using the fins. And this
Yes, sir.
tail helps to move forward. Helps
Yes.
move forward.
Help to move forward.
So like they are kind of a steering a setup, like just like using a steering wheel, we can
Steering
change the
wheel in the
direction
car.
of the vehicle. Yeah, just like that. The fins would be helping them to change the direction in the water. Hope
And
that much is
by
clear.
the help of the
Hmm. By the help of
like in human beings, by the help of lungs, we can breathe.
so they will be breathing via the help of gills.
Fin. I mean gills. Sorry.
Hmm. So these are the some of adaptations in fishes that we have learned.
Yes, sir.
Right
Sir,
now?
can you wait?
Yes.
Can I write the? Can I
Okay. Okay.
draw
Yeah.
the
Sure.
diagram?
Sure. Sure. There's one more important thing, by the way. Like fishes, they are cold-blooded animals. Okay, no? They are cold-blooded animals.
Yes.
Okay, now so which actually helps them to survive in the cold water. Hmm? So fishes have gills that allows them to breathe in oxygen via the water. They have a streamlined body. Most of the fishes would be having
They have
fins.
slippery scales.
Slippery scales are there, right now. So those are some of the adaptations observed in their body. Right, that is one thing.
Yes.
Also, they are cold-blooded. Fishes are cold-blooded animals, and thereby they can which basically means that their body temperature is similar to their surrounding. Huh? Like whatever is the temperature of the water, their body temperature will also be same, right? So they are able
Yes,
to
sir.
survive easily. It's not that much difficult for them. Hmm? Like for example, a fish that will be swimming in a water that has a temperature of 40 degree Fahrenheit. Let us say that the temperature of this water is 40 degree Fahrenheit. Okay.
Yes.
So the temperature of the body the body temperature of the fish will also be close to 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes, sir.
Got this now? So that is another advantage. Okay. Hope
Yes.
this much is clear. If you have written it, please let me know.
Okay.
And all these are the adaptations in them. Okay. And these are adaptations, like they are adaptations in their body, and there are certain adaptations in their behavior also. Okay, no? Like what adaptations will be in their behavior? Hmm? How fishes are adapted to their environment in terms of behavior? Getting it? So let us
Um,
understand. Yes.
okay, sir.
So talking about this now, like like as we know, that fishes would be usually moving to such a place where there would be good availability of food, right? Furthermore, there are certain warning signals that some of the species of fishes would be able to use in order to protect themselves. Getting it? Like for example,
Yes,
if there's a prey near to a fish, so they will simply lie flat. Lying flat is an indication that that fish is dead.
dead.
Try to understand what I'm saying. Normally, a fish
Yes,
should be moving straight like this now. Right?
yes,
Look at my hand. It will be moving like this. But if there's a prey, you understand what is a prey now?
yes,
So it will lie flat like this. It will lie flat like this. So that will be a behavioral adaptations. It changed its behavior. Getting it now? So that is one thing. So they have learned how to survive in the water. They have some adaptations. They would be changing their behaviors also. Okay, now that is one thing. So hope you are getting it. Okay.
yes, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, like sometimes in
Mhm.
the aquarium, if the fish is already dead, we can understand that it floats on the water. Like,
It floats on the water. Yeah, basically it will float on the water.
yes,
That's
it
indication that
floats
the
on the water
fish is.
flatly.
Hmm. Yeah, it is actually dead. That's indication that it is actually dead. But there are some kind of fishes that will
Actually dead.
on purpose lay flat in the water
On
so that
purpose.
the yeah
Yes.
so the predator thinks that the fish is dead and let's go on hunting for
And they
another
want,
fish.
yes. And they won't eat that fish.
Yeah. Furthermore, you would have seen that many times now billions of fishes, probably billions of fishes, would be swimming together. Millions of billions of fishes would be swimming in groups in order to protect themselves from predators. Right now, so that is another
Yes.
behavioral adaptation in them that some of the fishes would be gathering in huge numbers. It could be millions or even billions as a way to protect themselves from the predators. So it would be
Like a
hard,
family.
like a family. You can understand it in that manner. So it would be hard for the predator to catch the fishes. You all have seen, you would have seen it like this. So many fishes would be clustered like this, like they would be forming different kind of shapes also, like a circle, and a predator will
Yes.
come into this but wouldn't be able to catch any fish, hardly be able to catch any fish.
Done,
So
sir.
we so just one more thing to be noted, that fishes show behavioral adaptations also. Behavioral adaptations also. So write down this thing also.
Done.
Done. Good. Hmm. So right now we have learned about the fishes, how they would be adapted. Okay, now also in the previous classes we have learned that the aquatic habitat would be of different types. The aquatic habitats would be of different types. Aquatic basically refers to water, no? Basically talking about
Yes.
aquatic habitat, it basically refers to a region that is covered with water where the animals or whether the plants would be able to survive. Even the plants are able to survive in the water. You have aquatic plants also, right?
Yes.
So
Like
further,
algae, sir.
yeah, algae are found in the water. There are some other plants also that is found in the water, by the way. Okay, now just give me a moment. Hmm. So talking about Aquatic habitat.
Should I write
Yes.
that?
Yeah. So talking about the aquatic habitat, basically it would be referring to a region that is covered with water where plants and animals can survive. It is a region that is covered with water where animals and plants can survive. Okay. And then this aquatic habitat has been divided into different types. Like it has been divided into, talking about types of aquatic habitat. So there are different types of aquatic habitat. Namely, they are as follows.
Sir,
Yes.
after covered with water, what is the word?
Where, WHERE, where animals and plants can survive. Okay, pay attention to what I'm saying also. So there would be different types of aquatic habitats. The first one is freshwater. Freshwater habitat. Okay. Now talking about the freshwater habitat, no? So these would be the water bodies that will be filled with fresh water. Like it will include a river, it will include ponds, stream, etc. And the water that will be present in the rivers or lakes or ponds, it has very low amount of salts dissolved in it. Okay, no? So that's why it is called as fresh water or freshwater, and the habitat is freshwater habitat. Okay, no? So getting it so far?
Yes, sir.
So freshwater habitats, basically, these are the water bodies filled with fresh water. Fresh water. For example, lakes, rivers, ponds, water streams, etc. Another important thing is that they have low levels of salt dissolved. This water has very low amount of salt present in it. Okay, now? So there is low
Yes, sir.
concentration of salt in the freshwater. After freshwater habitat, we have the marine habitat.
Which is salt water.
Talking about the marine water, it will contain salt in it, by the way. Yeah. So basically, oceans. Yes.
Before marine habitat, what is the sentence?
It's low concentration of salt. Okay. Talking about the marine habitats, now basically these are the natural environment or natural places, like oceans or seas. No, getting it, where the animals would be found to be living.
Yes,
Where
sir.
the plants would be found to be growing. So oceans and seas, they are termed to be marine habitat. Oceans and seas are termed to be marine habitat. Okay. Furthermore, these like there will be more life found in the marine water as compared to the fresh water. Like you can obviously observe this thing that there are more number of fishes, more variety of aquatic plants found in the oceans as compared to the rivers, right? Getting it now? As the river water is not stagnant, it keeps on flowing. Huh? So there were very less fishes or aquatic plants to be found in the rivers or lakes or ponds or streams. But in the marine habitat, like in oceans and seas, more biodiversity is observed. More number of species of plants and or animals are found to be living. Getting it, Halima? Halima, you there in the
Yes, sir.
class? Yeah. So another important thing is that it has a rich diversity of life. That is one thing. Like you will observe different kind of organisms. Like for example, what kind of organism will be found here? Like sharks. Sharks will be found in the oceans or in the seas. Will be having sponges, uh, or like
Yes.
jellyfishes will be found in this, isn't it? Right now,
Starfishes,
starfishes will be found.
seahorses and all.
Seahorses, very good. Seahorses will be found, or starfishes, octopuses, right now, octopuses, etc. They all will be found in such a habitat. That is one thing. Now, the third habitat is the coastal habitat. Now, in order to understand this, first of all, you need to understand what is a coast. COAST, what is this coast? Okay. So, talking about coast now, coast is basically a place where land and water will be meeting. This will be
Yes, sir.
basically a place where the land and water meets, is called as a coastal habitat. Getting it now? Like for
Yes.
example, India also
Sir, like
has
a beach.
like a beach, exactly, where the land and water is meeting. So talking about coastal habitat, this is a region where the land is meeting with the water body, namely sea. Okay. So this is a habitat.
Sir, in
Yes,
marine habitat, it has a rich diversity of
rich diversity of
life.
life.
Okay.
LIFE, life. So talking about coastal habitat, this is a habitat where land
And
meets
land meets with water.
with water, or basically, more specifically, we say it to be sea. Okay,
What?
that is one. Sea,
Okay.
SEAC. Okay. Also, these coastal
Nice.
habitats would be unique. Huh? Like for example, have a look at this image. By the way, if just 1 minute. You know about Sundarban Delta? Like, do you know about Sundarban?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
Have a look at this.
Oh,
Okay. Now notice the kind of roots that are growing over here. No? Notice the kind of roots
sir,
that are growing in this plant.
the
Hmm.
roots are like
Half of the root
upward.
is above the water. Half of
Yes.
the roots is above the water, right? So this is a coastal habitat. This is, by the way,
Hmm.
Sundarban Delta. This is a Sundarban, and in this, a very special kind of forest is found to be growing, called as mangrove
Mangrove.
forest. Okay, na? Where the roots of the trees are partially above the water, and the rest of them is immersed into the water. Okay, na? Under the
Yes.
water. So this is a very special kind of habitat where we'll get to see that mangroves will be found right now. So it has a special type of
Yes, sir.
trees called as mangroves found to be growing in this.
Mangrove.
So coastal,
Sir, can you wait?
just 1 minute, let me just complete writing this, okay, now. So coastal habitats are very unique, okay, very unique. Like, for example, special type of trees like mangroves can be found in some coastal areas, not all of them, in some coastal areas. Okay, apart from this, there are lots of other animals that can be found in the coastal areas. Like you can find crabs. You know about the crabs. uh, in the coastal habitat, crabs can be found. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Like a seal can be found in the coastal areas. Many times turtles would be coming to the coastal areas in order to lay their eggs, right? particularly the longer loggerhead sea turtle would be coming there. Okay, now that is one thing. Okay, complete writing this.
Sir, can you go back a slide? Okay.
Mhm.
Sir, in
Yes,
marine habitat, examples are sharks and
sponges, jellyfish, seahorses, starfish, etc.
jellyfish, seahorses, starfish, etc. Coastal habitat. This is a habitat where land meets with sea. Sir, next slide.
Okay.
Coastal coastal habitats.
Mm. Yes, Salim, write it quickly.
Yes. Special types of trees. Sir, is that formed or found?
Found. Can be found. Okay.
Found in some coastal areas.
Mm.
Done, sir.
Done? Okay. Now, furthermore, let us understand in brief, in detail about like how the animals living in the marine habitat or animals living in the fresh habitat, or particularly in the
Coastal
coastal habitats would be adapted. Okay, and that is something which we are going to learn next.
how they're adapted to it.
Yes, how they're adapted. Okay, now. And here in this one, now we have generally discussed about only fishes in particular. Okay, now there are a lot other examples, lot of other organisms we have to learn about. Okay, so first of all, let us learn about freshwater habitat. Okay, no? So adaptation in fresh water.
Fresh adaptation in freshwater habitat.
Freshwater habitat. Okay. So as we know that fresh water includes rivers or lakes, ponds, streams, etc. And this
Yes,
habitat will be supporting a diverse range of plants and animals. Uh, and those
yes,
animals, those species of organisms would be adapted to that habitat, and there would be unique characteristics found in their body. Uh, like some of the common organisms found in the fresh water would be like a different kind of fishes, amphibians like frogs, different kind of invertebrates like dragonflies or snails. They would be commonly found in the freshwater habitat. Getting it now?
yes, sir.
So you happen to visit nearby a river or a lake or a pond. So these would be some of the common organisms that you can observe. Like frogs would be a very common thing that you can observe near the lakes or ponds or
Yes.
stream water, right? You can observe dragonflies,
Sir, some small
snails.
fishes.
Yeah, some small creatures like snails.
Yes.
Getting it? So they can be found in such a place. Getting it? And there are some other organisms also, like crocodiles. In certain cases, can also be found. Getting it? Crocodiles can also be found.
Yes.
So creatures like different kind of fishes, different kind of amphibians, particularly different kind of frogs, or you have smaller creatures like dragonflies
Fishes,
or
amphibian.
snails
Hmm.
are commonly found. They are commonly found in such a habitat. Hope you're getting it.
Yes.
Okay.
Frogs, dragonflies, snails are commonly found.
Hmm.
Are commonly done, sir.
Apart from these, there are some other organisms also. Other organisms will include, like you would be having a different kind of reptiles, like alligators or snakes will be found.
Hmm. Like water snake.
Water snake, very good. Water snake can be found in such a region. And different kind of birds like cranes can be found. Siberian
Yes.
cranes, like for example, cranes can be found. Hmm? Different
Sir,
kind of
spoonbills.
yeah, that can be found. Good, getting it. Or we have like even turtles can be found in some cases, right now.
Hmm. Duck,
Turtles can be found, ducks can be found, right, etc.
swan.
Swan, yeah, there's a long list of different kind of birds that can be found.
Yes.
Getting it? Okay, talking about
Alligator,
adaptation. Mhm. Talking about
snake.
adaptation of animals living in
Okay.
fresh water. Yeah. So, for example, like they would be having different kind of adaptations. Like we know that some of the organism, they can take water from the or they can take oxygen from the dissolved water, like fishes, as
Yes.
we learned moments ago. Then what
Hmm.
about the amphibians like frogs?
Sir,
As we know, yes.
they are supposed to come up to the water to breathe, like dolphins.
Okay, that is good, but there's a special thing about it. Like fishes, as we know that they take oxygen. Oxygen is dissolved in water. Dissolve oxygen in water. So for that purpose, they have gills, right? Gills help them in doing so. But what about amphibians like frogs? So you know frogs. Just let me erase this. As we know that frogs have lungs and they have a moist skin, right now.
Yes.
So some of them, or some of organisms like this frog, it can absorb oxygen through their skin, right now. So why so while it
Can
will
you
be
repeat?
the frogs can absorb the oxygen via their moist skin. So while it is under the water, it will be taking in the dissolved oxygen via their skin.
Hmm.
Hmm. So they can take oxygen via moist skin when they are underwater. When they are under the water, that is how they take in oxygen. But when they are on land, so they will be taking help of their lungs. Okay, now.
Yes.
So they take oxygen via lungs when they are out of the water. That is when they are on land. So that is the special feature found in the frogs right now.
Sir, take oxygen.
Take oxygen via moist skin. Another one is take oxygen via the lungs when they are on land. I have written it in short. Okay. Hmm. Also, freshwater animals, like they need to swim very quickly in order to catch their food. Huh? For example, some aquatic insects, or like water beetles, they can swim on the surface of the water. Okay, no, they can swim on the surface of the water. That helps them in surviving in the environment. Okay, that is one thing. Getting it or not? Also, you know that
Yes, sir.
you know about water beetles or not? I think what there are some smaller insects like water beetles. Okay, na, they have a very hairy body, and that hairy body would be trapping lots of air bubbles. Air bubbles would be trapped into this, so thereby they would be able to breathe via that. Let me just show you one image of it to give you a better clarity what actually I mean. See this insect, that is the water beetle insect. Okay, now you can see over here like there's a lots of hairs on their bodies, particularly on the legs. It is visible.
Sir,
Yes.
we can see this on the land also sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it is visible on the land also, by the way. Okay, no.
Yes, like a desert area also.
Yeah, there you can observe it. Okay, no. Although it can swim in the water also. Why? Because there are a lot of hairs on its body, and in between those hairs, now air bubbles gets trapped. Thereby they can
Oh,
swim in the water. Also they can breathe via that also. Okay, like how does the cockroaches breathe?
yes.
Cockroaches do not have lungs or any special structures. Na? There are so many holes in the body of the cockroaches. Like this is a cockroach. There are so many holes in their body, and it is via that hole that air enters into their body, and from that air they will be taking in oxygen. Same something similar happens in the case of that water beetle also. Okay, no?
Yes.
So air gets trapped and via these holes in their body. By the way, these holes in their body are called as spiracles. So via that they will
Spiral.
be taking, yeah,
Spiral.
spiracles. Hmm. So via that they will be able to take in oxygen. So that is one such adaptation in their body. Okay, no,
Yes.
that is one thing. Furthermore, different kind of organisms found in the freshwater habitat, na, like they have the ability to move very quickly. Most of them, they can hide, they can go, they can camouflage.
Hmm.
Another advantage is, for example, certain kind of reptiles like chameleons. Hmm. So chameleons can hide themselves. Basically, they can do camouflage.
They can take a color.
Hmm.
They can take color of any. Like
Exactly.
if they want to hide on the tree, like
Mhm.
they can take a color of green color
Yeah, green
to
or the
hide
color
under
of the
the.
branch, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting it. That is one thing. So I have just given you adaptations of some of the animals found to be living in the freshwater habitat. Okay. Next, you'd be learning about adaptations of plants in the freshwater. Okay. So how the plants would be adapted to survive in the freshwater habitat. So freshwater plants now, like the roots of the freshwater plants would be very well developed. They would be very well
Yes.
developed. It would be thicker, it would be wider, it would go deep into the soil, right? Hence, it can absorb lots of water and would be anchoring the plant properly into the soil. Understand what is an anchor now? ANCHOR.
Yes.
Like when a boat has to be stopped in the water body, an anchor is dropped into the water. So thereby
Yes.
that boat will stop there. In the similar manner, the if the roots of the plants are very good, it is deep and it is wide and it is dense, so hence it will be acting as a good
And
anchor for the plant. That
good
is one
and
thing. Hmm. Furthermore, have you seen this plant called as water lily?
yes, sir. I have heard it.
You have heard of it. Okay.
Yes.
So you would be also aware of this, that this plant floats on the water.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This water
Yes.
lily, it floats on the water. The one that you see over here.
Sir, like lotus.
Yeah, just similar to lotus. So why does it float and not sink in the water? Why it floats?
Sir, I
That's the
think because
question.
it has a dense roots.
No, not because of that. Not because of that. See, the thing is now, let me zoom it out. The leaves that you see now, these leaves are filled with air. Leaves are filled with air. Okay, now there's a lot of air bubbles inside the leaves. Makes them very less, makes them lighter, and hence they are able to float. Furthermore,
Float.
they have a waxy coating above them. Waxy coating. Okay, now a jelly-like coating is present on their body, just like oil. Okay, now
Yes.
just like a candle wax. So it has a waxy coating, so thereby it does not stick to the water. It does not sticks with the water. Hence, that also
It can
helps it
easily
in
move.
float. It can easily move and it can easily float because of two reasons. The first, leaves are filled with air, hence it is lighter, not very heavy.
Yes.
And furthermore, it has waxy coating. So both of them provides it with good buoyancy.
Hmm.
It provides it with them with good
Goodbye.
buoyancy. Now the question is that what is this buoyancy? Huh? So buoyancy is basically a tendency of any object to float in the water. Getting it now? Like for example, like when you put your hand in the water, like pay attention over here. When you dip your hand in a bucket of water like this, do you observe, Halima, that do you not observe some resistance, like opposing force by the water, like the water is
Yes.
opposing you? Huh? So that is called as buoyancy. Okay, no?
Yes, sir.
So thereby, a opposing force, like an upward force, will be acting on this. But if it were to be
Sir,
very heavy now,
if we dip the mug inside the water and just remove it.
mhm, there also you will observe that an upward force will be acting on that mug. Okay. But on the other hand, if these leaves were to be very heavy now, so it will sink and it will not float. So that is one of the adaptation observed in this. Okay, now. So for example, we have the case of water lily. By the way, the topic that you'd be giving. By the way, were you done writing all this?
Sir, I didn't wrote the comedian. I mean,
Okay, okay,
the comedian wrote.
okay, okay. Write it quickly.
Done, sir.
Done. Good. Next, give the heading Adaptations in plants in freshwater
Adaptation. Habitat.
habitat.
Sorry.
Okay. First thing is that roots of plants are well developed and provides good anchoring to the plant. Like in this manner, say that there are two plants. Okay, now there are two different plants. This is the root of the first plant and this is the root of the second plant.
Sir,
The
it's like
roots.
taproot and fibrous root.
No, we are not going into that discussion right now. I am saying that look at the roots of the two plants. Which one of them is well developed?
So the second one.
Second one. So which one of them would be well anchored into the soil? Which one of them is tightly fixed into the ground? Obviously the second one, no?
The second one.
Right? So this is, we see that the roots of the plants are, if they are well developed like this one, so the plants would be well anchored to the soil. You know, that is one thing. Then we did learn about the case of water lily. Okay, na? So plants
Yes.
like water lily can float above water.
Yes.
Okay. Because their leaves are filled with filled
Air.
with air and have a waxy coating. And have a waxy coating.
That's
That is one thing. Good. Also, you know that you must be thinking of this, like the leaves are continuously in the water, so thereby
Yes.
water can enter into them now. If something
What,
is
sir?
dipped into the water, so usually water will enter into that now.
Yes.
Getting it what I'm trying to say? I'm saying that if I were to dip let's say I were to dip some cloth in water, so that cloth will soak the water. So this
Yes.
leaves or this plant, that is for 24 hours it is under in the water. So why they don't soak up too much of water? So actually they can regulate the amount of water that they can absorb. So the balance of water is maintained in their body. Okay, no? Like how much of water they can absorb, they can control it. Okay, no? So another thing is that they can regulate or slash balance the amount of
Amount of water.
water in their body by not absorbing too much of water. Okay,
Sir,
write down this much. Yes.
the second point, plants like water lily
Can float above water because their leaves are filled with air and have a waxy coating.
okay,
Okay.
above water because their leaves are filled with air and have a waxy coating.
Have a waxy coating. Okay. Is the third point clear to you? Is the third
Yes,
point
sir.
clear? Did you understood this now? Okay, good.
They can regulate or
Slash Balance.
Balance the amount of water
In their
amount
body.
of water in their body.
Body. Okay. So
Sir,
right now we
should I
did learn
draw
about
the diagram?
which one, the plant.
Yes.
Okay, you can draw a rough diagram. Okay. So today we have learned about this adaptation in the aquatic habitat. Generally, in this also we did learn about various types of aquatic habitat. We have the marine habitat, we have the freshwater habitat, and we have the coastal habitat. And right now we completed our discussion about the freshwater habitat, where we learned about adaptations seen in the various kind of animals, what kind of animals are seen in the freshwater habitat, how the plants are adapted in the freshwater habitat. So that is something which we have learned.